Pagan Empire of 1,000 Temples, the rise and fall of Burma's first civilization, 849 to 1287 CE. A city of gods and kings. Imagine a kingdom where kings rose not merely by blood, but by merit, where every prayer was carved in brick, and where the divine and the political walked hand in hand beneath golden spires. This was Pagan, the first great Burmese empire. Long before Mandalay, long before colonial maps redrew the region, Pagan stood proud across the arid plains of the Irrawaddy Valley. It unified the heartland of Burma, ushered in a golden age of Theravada Buddhism, and left behind one of the most magnificent temple cities on earth, Bagan. But like all empires, Pagan's glory came with burdens, overreach, religious excess, and eventually the fury of the Mongol horde. This is the epic of Pagan, how it rose from pew ruins to become a radiant empire, and how its brilliance collapsed beneath its own weight. Chapter 1. The Pew Legacy and the Birth of Pagan. Before Pagan, there were the Pew city-states, sophisticated societies that flourished from the 2nd to 9th centuries CE across central Burma. Cities like Sri Kshetra and Baekthano were centers of early urbanism, literacy, and Buddhism. They traded with India and China, used Brahmi-based scripts, and built walled capitals. But Pew power waned. From the northeast came waves of new migrants, the Bamar people, speakers of a Tibeto-Burman language, arriving from the Himalayas. Around 849 CE, they founded the city of Pagan near the bend of the Irrawaddy River, on the ruins of Pew influence. These were humble beginnings, but the city grew, irrigated the dry plains, and began forging a new identity, one rooted in local governance, Indian political models, and Buddhist cosmology. Chapter 2. Anawrahta, the unifier and holy warrior. In 1044 CE, a man named Anawrahta ascended the Pagan throne. He would become Burma's first true empire builder, a brilliant military leader and deeply religious reformer. Anawrahta conquered rival chieftains and the powerful Mon kingdom of Thaton in 1057 CE. From Thaton, he seized Buddhist scriptures, relics, and the great monk Shin Arahan, who would guide his spiritual revolution. Determined to purify the realm, Anawrahta converted Pagan from Mahayana and native animism to Theravada Buddhism. He initiated mass temple construction and supported monastic education. Pagan's faith was not quiet. It was monumental. He also built vast irrigation systems, tanks, canals, dams, that turned arid land into agricultural wealth, ensuring Pagan's stability for centuries. Chapter 3. The Golden Age, Pagan the Temple Empire. From the 11th to 13th centuries, Pagan entered its zenith. Successors like King Kianzitha, Alaungsithu, and Narapatisithu transformed the empire into a spiritual and architectural marvel. Over 10,000 temples, stupas, and monasteries were constructed across the Bagan plains. Some of the most iconic, Ananda Temple, 1091 CE, a marvel of symmetry, combining Mon craftsmanship and Indian design. That Binu Temple, Pagan's tallest temple, over 60 meters, symbolizing the king's reach to the heavens. Dhyamayangi Temple, built by a tyrant king seeking redemption through stone. Each monument was more than art. It was a declaration of power, piety, and cosmic order. Kings donated land, gold, and entire villages to the monkhood, believing these acts earned spiritual merit and divine favor. Pagan became a hub of learning, pilgrimage, and trans-Asian exchange. Monks and scholars arrived from Sri Lanka, Bengal, India, and even Cambodia, solidifying Pagan's role as a Buddhist capital of Asia. Chapter 4. Society, Economy, and the Power of Religion. Pagan structure was feudal theocratic. The king was Dhammaraja, a righteous ruler defending Buddhism. Society was hierarchically organized. Land was the currency of power, and much of it was donated to monastic institutions, which became wealthier than the crown. Temples controlled vast rice fields, laborers, and water systems. Commoners paid tax either to the king or the Sangha. Monkhood. Artisan guilds flourished, creating some of Southeast Asia's finest murals, terracotta, and bronze sculptures. But there was a price. Excessive religious donations slowly drained the royal treasury, leaving the crown vulnerable. Chapter 5: Decline, Disunity, and the Mongol Invasion. By the late 13th century, Pagan was decaying from within. Royal power was hollowed by tax-exempt temple lands. Local governors became autonomous warlords. Climate challenges and over-irrigation strained agriculture. Then came Kublai Khan. In 1277, Pagan clashed with the Yuan dynasty in northern Burma. After initial skirmishes, the Mongols invaded again in 1287, sacking Pagan and forcing the royal court into retreat. Though Mongol rule was short-lived, Pagan never recovered. The central authority collapsed. The empire disintegrated into petty kingdoms, and Bagan, once home to kings and gods, was reduced to a holy relic. A legacy carved in brick and eternity. Pagan's fall was tragic, but its legacy immortal. It gave Burma its script, religion, identity, and sacred geography. Its temples, though scarred by time and earthquakes, still rise under Bagan's crimson skies. In 2019, UNESCO recognized Bagan as a World Heritage Site, a long overdue tribute to this lost empire of stone. In our next episode, we turn to the maritime titan of Sumatra, the Srivijaya Empire, which ruled the waves and turned religion into naval power. Subscribe to Ancient Sea to uncover the empires time tried to bury. But we resurrect, one story at a time.